Dragon Feather, and welcome back to week 4 of 31 days of Samhain Dragons, which is one new guardian to meet every single day of October in honor of spooky season. Week 4 will be covering the monstrous magic of Samhain guardians, so without further ado, let's just jump on into it. For day 22, we'll be working with the Ghost Dragon. I love working with ghost dragons in order to identify hidden, invisible, or missing things that I might be not noticing in my reality. We also work with ghost dragons to learn the art of intentionally disappearing, or ghosting as the term is popularly known as. All this means is that once you realize your presence is no longer welcome, or people don't have your best interests at heart, or they have a particular narrative they want you to fulfill, you simply disappear. And we work with ghost dragons in order to have the courage in order to do that. We also work with ghost dragons to help us develop the skill of perceiving things, spirits, or anything really beyond the veil. All that means is we work with ghost dragons to help us perfect our psychic abilities. We also work with ghost dragons to navigate the ghosts of our past. That's why if you're interested in working with ghost dragons and connecting with these guardians, I've created a challenge for you within the Hatchling clan Amino that essentially is a ritual challenge for you to address these ghosts of your past, where they are haunting you still today, and how you can ghost those parts of your reality. Day 23 will be working with the Plague Dragon. We work with the Plague Dragons to help us identify problematic parts of our lives, problematic people in our lives, or just problematic things in general in our realities. But mostly we work with Plague Dragons to understand the power and the purpose of contagion. What are things that are contagious? And how do we work with magic that is contagious? Or how can we prevent magic that is contagious, or mentalities that are contagious, or even energy that's contagious? How can we block that from disturbing us and our peace? The Plague Dragons are the guardians we work with for protecting ourselves from contagion. So if you're interested in working a little bit more with Plague Dragons, I've created a ritual challenge for you in the Hatchling clan Amino that you can use to block contagion and work with the energy of contagion. So you can not only prevent contagious things from your life, but also learn how to create contagious spells that are simply unavoidable for others. For day 24, we'll be working with the Vampire Dragon. We work with Vampire Dragon guardians to understand vampiric magic in general, to learn about vampirism, and more than anything, just understand basic energy exchange. Work with vampire dragons in order to feed off of energy, be it the energy off of others, the energy off of an event, the energy off of an emotion, or just life force in general. We also work with vampire dragons to hone our ability to suck out the energy of anything or a particular energy from a pool of energy, so we don't kind of absorb energy we're trying to avoid. If you're interested in working more with the Vampire Dragon Guardians, I've created a ritual challenge for you within the Hatchling clan Amino to help you suck out your energy from where you may have left it, or from people or energy vampires themselves who are feeding off of your precious life force. For day 25, we'll be working with the Pestilence Dragon. We work with the Pestilence Dragon to understand the divine importance of not only illness, but infection. I know some people might think that illness and infection is horrible, no matter how you slice the cake, but the reality is that it too has its own divine purpose within the cycle of life. We work with the Pestilence Dragon Guardians in order to understand sickness, and sickness of all kinds, not only how to heal sicknesses, but also how to inflict sicknesses on others. Not all sicknesses are literal or physical, I should say. A lot of sicknesses are spiritual and mental and emotional, and sometimes even social. More than anything, we work with the Pestilence Dragon to understand the divine decree of diseases and the place that diseases play within our lives. Working with Pestilence Dragons can be very intimidating, scary, and even difficult. So that's why I've created a ritual challenge for you within the Hatchling clan to identify where you might have your own spiritual sickness and how you can remedy that in your life. For day 26, we'll be working with the Skeletal Dragons. The Skeletal Dragon Guardians are the ones we work closely with when we're trying to address the skeletons in our closet. All that means is they're gonna help you air out your dirty laundry, and sometimes there's some really hard things to look at when it comes to rummaging through the skeletons in your closet. We also work with the skeletal dragons to create defenses or foundations for any types of threats or any types of practices. Skeletal dragons teach us the importance of having a very strong and sturdy frame. It's very important to have a good solid framework for anything that we're doing within our lives, and the skeletal dragons are ones that we can work with in order to perfect these foundations within our crafts, our lives, and just in general. We also work with the skeletal dragons to understand the magic, the purpose, and the symbolism of fossilization. Fossilization is the process of organic matter over time being turned into stone or crystal. Over time, something that is soft and fragile can be turned into something that lasts forever, simply through standing the tests of time. If you're interested in working more with the skeletal dragons, I recommend checking out the challenge that I made within the Hatchling Clan Amino that's gonna help you understand the foundation and create a foundation for your craft within your practice. And if you've already created a foundation for your craft in your practice, it's about going over this foundation and honing it or perfecting it or improving upon it in any way that you can. Moving forward, the dragons that we will be discussing, I consider very difficult dragons to work with, and you should totally assess your own skill levels before considering engaging with these dragon guardians, before engaging in these ritual challenges, or before really seeing if they're dragons you wish to work with. These dragons in no way, shape, or form are going to harm you if you have the proper protections within your space, and most of these dragon guardians are very mischievous in the sense that they might pull pranks on you, or they might teach you difficult lessons in very uncomfortable ways. So with that being said, use caution before you choose to work with any of these Samhain dragons. Day 27, we'll be working with the zombie dragon. We work with the zombie dragon to understand the practice of necromancy and to understand the power of resurrection. Not only the power, but also the symbolization. What does it mean to resurrect something? What does it mean to bring the dead back to life? And in order to understand these archetypes, we really tap in with the zombie dragon. We also work with the zombie dragon to resurrect dead things back to life in order to serve us specifically. Now, often, and at least in my practice, this looks like basically resurrecting dead parts of myself in order to become whole again. And the way that I do this practice is I go into meditation with these guardians to retrieve dead parts of myself or dead practices of my craft and reintegrate them into my life in a way that serves me. We also work with the zombie dragons to learn the magic of reanimation. And this can be a little bit spooky for a lot of us, but reanimation is essentially the craft of making something move again that no longer could move. You can think about this craft in a symbolic way, but most people think about this craft in a literal way, which I think is a little silly, but totally possible, and let me tell you why. Reanimation has a lot to do with the fact that our bodies are made of nervous systems. Nervous systems function via electrical wiring, or the neurons fire via electrical impulses. Reanimation, in a sense, is a very electrical type of practice, but we work with the zombie dragons to understand the art of reanimation. That's why if you're interested in learning a little bit more about zombie dragons, I've created a ritual challenge for you in the Hatchling Clan Amino that helps you understand a little bit more about resurrection magic and reanimation magic and how you can resurrect and reanimate dead parts of you or your craft within your life. For day 28, we'll be working with the Hellfire Dragon. The Hellfire Dragon is incredibly intimidating for those of us, especially if we have any sort of religious trauma surrounding hell. We work with Hellfire Dragons to get comfortable with pure destruction, pure destructive forces and energies. We work with Hellfire Dragons to tap into our raw, righteous rage and wrath, and what that looks like and how to express that in a healthy way. We also work with the Hellfire Dragon to understand and utilize the energy of hate. And I know that that might seem like something we should never do. We should never tap into the energy of hate. but hate is one of the most motivating forces on the planet and one of the most lucrative energies on the planet, unfortunately. Everything these days is a hate economy. So it's important to understand how to use the energy of hate and how we can utilize our own hatred into bringing about a better, more positive life for ourselves, because it is possible. Hellfire Dragon Guardians are the ones that we work with to really help us understand the purpose and the point and the power with inflicting pain on not only other people, but the pain we inflict on ourselves. And this is very controversial and can be very taboo to talk about and can be even extraordinarily triggering. But the reality is that there is a point and there is a purpose sometimes in inflicting pain on others and inflicting pain on ourselves. Though I do not recommend any of these practices to anybody. We simply work with the Hellfire Dragons to understand the process of these acts. What's the point of it and how we can transmute it to overcome any pain that we may have encountered in our lives. Lastly, we work with Hellfire Dragons to understand the dynamics and the point, purpose, and power of punishment, of repentance, and of justice. I think a lot of people get it confused when it comes to hell and hellfire as being a place of torture, when the truth is it's a place of punishment. It's a place to force naughty souls or evil souls into repentance for the divine justice of the balancing of energetic scales, if you will. That's why if you're interested in working with the Hellfire Dragon, I've created a ritual challenge for you within the Hatchling Clan Amino that's going to help you get in touch with your own personal hatred and rage and how you can better express that or create a ritual or create a routine or act that you can use in order to express your divine, raw, righteous rage and wrath. That's all I have for you for week 4 of 31 Days of Samhain Dragons. I'd like to give a special thank you to Riley from Starstorm Studios for creating all of the 31 Days of Samhain art, not only all the thumbnails, including the one for this video, but also the clan icon and the amazing intro animation of this video. If you'd like your own custom commissioned created art piece from Riley, don't forget to message her on Instagram via the link down below. The fun doesn't end there for 31 Days of Samhain Dragons. Don't forget to check out the Hatchling Clan Discord server, which is one that I've created for you to not only celebrate Halloween with the hatchlings, but also to explore all religion, spirituality, and faith-based practices of the world. But wait, there's more, because if you're interested in learning about one of the particular dragons here in 31 Days of Samhain Dragons, go check out my TikTok where I'm posting a new TikTok every single day of October. That's a deep dive into each of the dragon guardians that we are learning about in 31 Days of Samhain Dragons, for I wasn't able to cover in depth about all of these dragons in today's video. Don't forget to check out my TikTok to learn a little bit more about each of the Samhain Dragons. And of course, don't forget to check out the Hatchling Clan Amino, where I have posted all of the ritual challenges for you to connect with each of these Samhain dragons in honor of the Year of the Dragon. And if you're new here, merry meet. My name is AZURA Dragon Mother. I've been working with dragons for 20 plus years, and this year, in honor of the Year of the Dragon, I bring you 31 Days of Samhain Dragons. That's 31 dragons to meet every single day of October in honor of spooky season. If you want to learn more about dragons, don't forget to check out all my YouTube videos, my Discord server, and my Amino community that I've created just for you to not only learn about dragons, but to learn about religion, spirituality, and faith-based practices of the world. Oh yeah, and it's free. Did I mention? Because everyone deserves dragons! Can't wait to hear your experience with all of the guardians from week 4 of 31 Days of Samhain Dragons. But until next time, stay geeky, chica, and freaky! A little hatchlings! Yeah! Flossy, bye!